Welcome to the Family Geekery Podcast, a podcast for geeks from a family of geeks. We talk about comics, video games, and anything else geeky. I'm Danny.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're doing a Comic-Con recap.
Yeah, every year that we do our local Comic-Con here, we like to talk about things we saw, people we met, things we did, and just kind of recap it all. But before we do that,
Geeky Weeks.
let's see if anybody did anything geeky this week besides the Comic-Con. Amber, how about you?
All right. It's time for me to share my true religion with you guys. Big Brother
Oh, no.
started. So now, 3 nights a week. Well, maybe 4 nights a week. It's Big Brother time. So that premiered last Thursday. I forced the entire family to join me in watching it. And it was a pretty fun time. I think this season started off very cheesy. But so far, I've been watching a little bit of the live feeds, and I'm like seeing TikToks about people like recapping the live feeds and little clips from the live feeds. There's 2 showmances already. It's been like a week, and there's 2 showmances, which is kind of wild. I feel like it's been a couple years since we've had like real fast like showmances, so that's kind of cool. And there's a lot of strategy happening, a lot of game playing, especially because there's 2 Survivor players on this season. But I'm excited for the rest of the season. I think there will be some good strategy and some fun alliances. And I don't think we've had anything like that recently in the last couple of years of Big Brother. So I hope you guys keep watching because it'll be good.
Did you know that Lyric has a famous father?
She said something like that. She said her dad had a one-hit wonder or something.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty big hit in the 80s. Big love ballad.
Oh, cool. Nepo babies, all of them.
All of them.
And also last week, I talked about 2 Point Museum, how I was excited to play it.
Yeah.
And I started playing it. And it's fun.
Nice.
So far, I've gotten 1 star on 2 museums. And I think the way the campaign works, it's like, gets you to 1 star 1 museum, and then you pick another one, and 1 star that. But then you have to go back to the first one to 2 star it. So just progressing through the story mode a little bit.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I did. I was doing a lot of prep work for the convention. So not a lot of geeky weeky.
All right. How about you, Danny?
Yeah, so I watched the Big Brother episode with the fam. Definitely very cheesy. I haven't stayed up to date with it, but maybe I'll try it again because my show, Love Island, ended yesterday.
All done?
Oh, it's perfect timing.
So I'm going to watch the finale tonight. So I've been avoiding all social media because they are quick to spoil. But, so yeah, Love Island's ending. So maybe I'll hop on the Big Brother train.
Yeah, it's not really summertime until Big Brother starts. So, summer's officially here, guys.
Oh, you heard it here.
Chief Meteorologist Amber.
Yeah.
Other than that, I did some prep for the con, usual crocheting. Not as much as I wanted to this year, but still got some good stuff. And then yeah, that's my geeky wiki.
Nice.
All right. And I also watched some of the Big Brother. I guess I watched episode 1 and episode 3. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I mean, episode 2 didn't really count as an episode because it's their like BB Unlocked, which it was funny they made a joke on that episode. It's like their like sideshow like breakdown kind of like Talking Dead a little bit.
Okay.
So it was funny. They made a joke. It was like, we're just as surprised that we got renewed as you are. Like, because last year, I don't think they did very well. It was 2 previous winners that are both like really good at Big Brother, but don't have the best hosting compatibility. I think they don't have like the best chemistry with each other. But this year they brought in a permanent third host who is a famous host, I think, from a different CBS show. I'm not sure. But so it was a little bit better than I remember it being last year. But they didn't like really say any. They give you like some behind the scenes that like you don't necessarily need for the show, but just like a little bit of bonus content.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so other than that, I've been playing some Dreamlight Valley because they came out with a new DLC. So I jumped on that. And it's a cute little DLC with some Winnie the Pooh characters in it. And we talked about games that we were interested in the Steam sale last week. And I did pick up a couple of those. Haven't loaded them up yet, but they're on my to-do list for whenever I get a spare moment. And other than that, I did grab a book to start reading since I was all caught up with all my books. So I figured, why not read the Odyssey?
Ooh.
So I got the Odyssey, which is one of the translations, I guess a translation from the female whose name eludes me right now. But it is from Audible, and it's narrated by Claire Danes. And I spent the first 3 hours listening to like an introduction, the longest introduction of a book I've ever read. And then after the 3-hour introduction was a half an hour notes from the translator. So I don't know who wrote the introduction. I was assuming that was the narrator also, but maybe not. Maybe it was Homer himself wrote the intro.
Yeah, Homer came back from the dead.
Yeah. But notes from the translator, which was pretty interesting. She talked about how she wanted to make her translation like the same number of lines as Homer's, because a lot of other translations are longer. And she wanted to make it, poem-like, since that's what it is. And then, so now I'm into the books, and there's 24 books. I'm in book 2. And I'm trying to binge that through, which isn't probably going to happen because I think they're all a half an hour each before the movie comes out this Thursday or Friday or this weekend, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to...
so excited.
Trying to do that. It's interesting to listen to a book knowing that you're going to go see the movie and knowing who the actors are, so you can kind of have the actors in your head in the book and see if it kind of matches what you think it should match. But so far, it's an interesting read. And that's about it for me, other than going to the Comic-Con, which we're about to talk about, because we are at that time in the podcast that we're going to talk about our main subject.
What? We do that?
Yep.
Sometimes it takes us a little longer.
Yeah.
True.
Sometimes it takes Amber a little longer.
Hey. Sometimes I have very busy weeks where I do lots of fun things, and I like to talk about it, and I like to talk about Dazzler.
That's the first Dazzler appearance in the episode. Mark it at 11 minutes and 56 seconds. I guess it's different than that because I'll be editing some cats and other things out of this so far.
What are you talking about?
But yeah, so let's talk about our local Comic-Con. This is our 4th year, I think we determined.
Was it? I thought it was only our 3rd.
No, it's our 4th.
4th year doing this one. And this is the first year that they did a 2-day version of it. And I had some skepticism about the second day, but as it turns out, it was all for naught because I think the second day was great. Saw some of the same people from the Saturday that showed up on Sunday, but then a lot of new people too. So I would say it was a success having a 2-day show. It was tiring.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk about some things about the show this year. We were there representing this awesome podcast that you are listening to right now. And in the process of also being an artist alley, as you will, that we get to sell some crafty stuff too. Anything that you make, you can sell. So both the girls had items with them. Amber, you want to talk about what you brought this year with you?
Sure. So I brought my Magic the Gathering earrings and keychain charms that I made from bulk Magic the Gathering cards. I tried to, luckily for me, Marvel and Ninja Turtles just came out recently as sets, so I went through those and found some cool. I made sure I had one of each of the Ninja Turtles and a couple of cool Marvel cards that I could turn into some keychains. And then my usual, hey, this is a pretty card, let's turn that into an earring. So made some of those. In the process, I made some TikToks. So I'm trying to be a content creator of my own a little bit. But yeah, I brought those, and I feel like I had a better display this year than I did last year. Because I actually had like a spinning earring wheel. And
I liked it.
People were able to look through them. And I also brought some of my perler bead keychains that they're fun to make. It's fun to design little pixel art keychains out of some shows and video games that I like. So last year I had a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's characters, and what I did was I found like one set of, pixel art that somebody else made on like Pinterest, and I took those and I used it as a guide to make my own like Freddy and like Bonnie and like the glam rock animatronics and stuff. So that's what I did last year. This year I used that same kind of template to make some Amazing Digital Circus characters, because that's a show that got really popular this year and had its series finale quite recently. So I thought, rightfully so, that it would be a popular item at the convention. And we did end up seeing quite a few cosplayers from Digital Circus, and I feel like I know the audience of people that attend these conventions. So wanted to kind of give them something fun to look forward to. And yeah, so that's what I did. I think we ended up throwing out my magic grab bags that I made last year. So
yeah, those are always fun.
No new magic grab bags, just some leftovers from last year. So you can never have too many leftovers.
Yeah, I think your displays were much better, but I think you need some signage.
I think so too.
Because a lot of people would walk up and they'd look at it a little bit, and I don't think they knew what they were looking at. And then I would say, hey, my daughter makes these out of Magic the Gathering cards. And then they'd go, oh, and then they'd look, a little bit harder at them and notice what they were. I took it for granted.
I spent too much time making the earrings, and I was like, the night before I was like, can I make a QR code? How do you make a QR code? Can you print it out? And you're like, no. And I was like, okay, that's okay.
I need a little more lead time than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also took it for granted that everybody knew what Magic the Gathering was, because sometimes I would say those words and they wouldn't know exactly what it was. But yeah, they looked great. But I do think
I agree.
I think you need a sign.
Yeah.
that says what
I
they
also
are.
think maybe it's not the right audience for earrings. I think if there was like a craft fair, I think they would do better there. Because I think a lot of old ladies go to the craft fairs.
Old ladies with Magic the Gathering earrings.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Danny? What'd you bring this year?
I brought the usual. I brought my crochet plushies. Like I said, didn't prep as much as I wanted to, but I still was able to have a good amount based on of leftovers from previous markets and such. And then as well as when you're sitting there for like 6-8 hours, I mean, it gives me something to do.
You did not sit there for 6 or 8 hours, bro.
Didn't ask. But yeah, I'm able to whip them up pretty quickly so I can replenish as they get bought.
Nice.
And then other than that, I brought my art prints, some 4x6s, 8x10s, which I also had from previous markets. And yeah.
We discovered something funny while we were setting up.
Which is?
You had a sign that I think we had up the last couple of years that was a link to your Instagram. And it must have been your old Instagram because it is not your Instagram anymore. Because your current art Instagram is like what, like Art by Danny or something?
Yeah, artwork by Danny.
Yeah, and the old one was Danny_draws. And
I'm glad someone took it.
I was like, let me just scan this to make sure this still works. And then I opened it, and it opened up to an Instagram with like 2 followers, and the profile was like Amy Rose from Sonic. And I'm like, this isn't Danny. let me just get rid of this.
Well, I haven't used that in a few years because I made business cards that have my updated Instagram on them. So I usually just pass those out.
Nice.
Cool. And we had again this year as the centerpiece. I know it takes up a lot of room, but it's still kind of a neat attention grabber, and that's the arcade machine that I built, I think for our first one, and got a little game in there called Space Race. Fun to either play or compete with your friend. We try to convince them to bring a friend and play the 2 players and make it a little competition. And yeah, it's always fun to see people play that, enjoy it, trash talk each other a little bit. And then it's fun to see people that recognize it, like, oh, hey, you were here last year.
Yeah.
Now we get some regulars.
Yeah. In fact, the VIPs come in a half an hour before everybody else, and one of the first VIPs, he was clearly coming through what I call like the speed round, where you walk through the entire con one time, and then you slow down and then go booth to booth. And he was making his one-time lap through right at opening, and he stopped. He looked over. He's like, "Hey, you guys were here last year, right?" And I said, "Yes." And he told us a story about how, and it's what's funny. The funny part is, as he made his speed lap past us, he got just past our booth, and Amber said, "Hey, I recognize that guy from last year."
Yeah.
And he didn't hear that. That's not why he turned around and came back. But he turned around and came back.
He saw us out the corner of his eye,
He recognized us and said, "Hey, you were here last year." I said, "Yes." And he said, "I want to thank you because my kids, I don't know if you remember my kids, but they were very intrigued by the fact that you made this video game. And for the last year, they've been working on, learning how to code and how to make their own video games." So he had a very heartfelt thank you to us. And
yeah, it was so sweet.
That was pretty cool. Makes the whole thing worth it.
For sure.
But yeah, that's always fun. And then besides that, we had just a couple other miscellaneous perler beads out there that that we had from previous years, and then a couple small ones that we made up this year. And yeah, had a neat little booth set up this year. Now let's talk about our neighbors real quick, and I hope that you have the name or remember the name of the neighbor to our right.
You talking
Danny?
to me? Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
her company name is Sid
like,
Kick.
It might be Sid Vic. I heard her say her name was Victoria to somebody else.
Well, I have her business card in front of me.
Okay.
It's like
Never
K.
mind then. Okay, cool.
Sid Kick, CYDKIC. And this girl, actually, we went to school together. She was a few years older than me, though, but we crossed paths in our years. But yeah, same school, same major, and yeah, her stuff was really cool. I got to chat with her for a bit, bonded over shared classes, shared professors, and yeah, very very sweet girl. She does these every few months, so she's not a newbie. But yeah, this kind of her post college creative outlet. And I think she's doing really well. Seemed like her business was doing well.
Yeah.
Lot of good pop culture artwork and keychains, So she's doing good, and she was very nice.
Yeah, I had a nice little chat with her, I think, before you got there, Danny. And she had mentioned where she went to school, and I'd said, hey, so did my daughter that's going to be here a little bit later today. And then she said that her older sister went to the same school as Amber.
Yeah. It's so funny.
And I asked her, hey, did your older sister have a kind of superiority complex about the school that she went to also?
Wait a second. Hey.
And
It's not my fault that UVA is ranked like number 3 in the country. Come on.
And she said, yeah, and she mentioned things about, oh, yeah, the silly grounds and the first year, second year thing. I said, yeah, that sounds familiar. But yeah, super, super nice. I did tell her once that her because she said this was her second con, besides some of the ones that she did in school. And I said, well, for your second, con, you've got a pretty good display. And she said,
Oh, yeah.
oh, thank you for saying that, because I wasn't sure, how I was doing with the table. So
Yeah, we chatted about that a little bit because, like, in our school we have our senior markets and our semester markets, and there's people like me and her during school that, like, we had a simple setup. Like, we had our artwork shown, a few basket crates, and then there's people that have full-on displays, that's 10 feet high,
Yeah.
filled. They got shelves everywhere, like, very, very good for, senior in college.
Yeah.
Like, they do this regularly. And I was like, well, like, you're doing great now. Like, yours looks just as good as the rest of the people's here. So, like, she's definitely doing well. So, and she said she had a few more coming up.
Yeah.
She has a few more booked in the next few months. So, that's happy to hear.
yeah, very cool.
Yeah, we were talking while you guys were at lunch for what seemed like an eternity.
We were hungry.
I know. But yeah, I think it started to slow down a little bit around like 2 p.m.-ish on Sunday. So we got to chat, and I was like, hey, like, your art looks so good. You should draw Hades characters, because she drew characters from Epic, the musical, which is also like a Greek mythology thing. And she was like, yeah, I have that game. I should play it. I was like, yeah. So she was super sweet. And every now and then somebody would like walk past me and start talking to her and buy their stuff. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll let you make your money. And then as soon as they left, she'd start back up the conversation with me. I was like, oh, that's nice. So very sweet girl.
Yep. And then on the other side of us, we had a writer, comic book writer, who actually works with friend of the podcast, Charlie McKelvey, which we saw there also. He was tabled up as usual. And when he was on the podcast most recently, he was talking about starting a new line of comics called American Yakuza. And this is the guy that was sitting next to us to our left was the guy who writes that.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I asked him if he was the author, and he corrected me real quick and said he's the writer. I'm not smart enough to know the difference between those two terms, but there must be a technical difference between those two terms. But I guess it's right. I guess you always see writer as the credit in a comic book. You don't see author. But he had great. I told him you've got the best table skills I've ever seen at one of these, because he would bark people down as they're walking by and say, "Hey, do you like comics?" I'm like, "Oh, that's brilliant. Like, why would they be here if they didn't?" So there's only a few people that actually walked by and just like ignored him, or walked by and said, "Yeah, duh." Most of them would stop and he would engage them, and then he had his hook. Like, "Okay, what kind of comics do you like?"
Yeah, and then he would find one of his that was similar enough to the comic they mentioned.
Yeah. And someone would say, "Well, Spider-Man. Oh, if you like Spider-Man, I think you'll like this one right here. This is about this, and this." So he had great skills. I complimented him on that, and he said, "The skills aren't good enough yet because I haven't sold out." Yeah, I still got comics on the table. But yeah, that's kind of neat. Let's talk about, like we always do, favorite costumes that we saw. Who's got a favorite?
Oh, I have a favorite. This one girl came by, and she was... at first I saw she had little elf ears on, and it was kind of a simple outfit. It was just like a white button-up shirt and some like brown pants, and she had a necklace. And I was like, that looks familiar. And then it like dawned, they were like looking at my stuff, and I was like, "Are you Pike from Vox Machina?" And she goes, "Yeah. You're like only the second person to notice." I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Oh.
So she was excited, and she like showed me her necklace. She was like, "Yeah, I made this last night in 7 hours out of hot glue." I was like, "Whoa."
Wow.
Like, what? So it was so cool. She was so excited that she was like, "Oh, I thrifted this. I made this." And it looked great. Like, yeah, I was so excited to see, of like Pike is my favorite character in Vox Machina. And I feel like maybe people wouldn't cosplay as Pike. I don't know. There's like other characters that I think are more aesthetically pleasing than Pike is. But, it was really cool. Like, she had her hair done just like Pike did. And it was a little hard to notice because Pike is like blonde and she had like brown hair, so obviously she wasn't wearing a wig or anything. But I was so excited to see a Pike, and she was so excited to be recognized.
That's cool.
You probably made her day.
Probably, yeah.
What about you, Danny? Do you have a favorite that you saw?
Trying to think. I know I saw some good ones, when I'm blanking. I saw a good Golden Freddy.
There's always a good like Golden Freddy or Springtrap or someone.
Yeah, was the green one Springtrap? Because he looked kind of mangled.
Mm-hmm.
Saw some good X-Men characters. I know I saw a good one. I just forget.
I'll jump in and maybe you'll remember. I saw, like right off the bat, a young lady walking by that was just a great looking Link from from Zelda, and just perfect. The elf ears and the green outfit, and that was great. And then there was another guy walked by with a really great Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that was good.
Had to be hot though. Anybody that had any kind of full face covering, I feel bad for him because the temperature of that place ramps up pretty quickly with that many human bodies inside generating heat. And there was there's a lot of full costume characters, and I forget who it was that I saw that had a really great costume. And I said, hey, your costume is great. And she said, yeah, it's not near as cool as what you might think. Or it's not, I think the way she phrased it was, yeah, it's a lot hotter inside here than what you might think. Just joking. I was like, oh yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, because a lot of times their costumes have so many layers. Like, even if it's just, like, a dress.
All right, let's talk about some of the booths that we may have seen or visited or spent money at. The first thing I'll mention is I was happy to see a lot more comic book booths this year than I think I've ever seen there. Like comic book vendors.
Oh, yeah.
Like the traditional vendor with long boxes. I think there was... Last year, I think, was probably the worst. There was like the one big guy that's always up in the front. And then there wasn't a whole lot after that. This time, there must have been, six, seven. Somewhere in there. Pretty big vendors with lots of long boxes. And then a couple other tables with, just a handful of long boxes. But a lot more comics to look at. And that's always good to have at a Comic-Con.
I feel like there's like less like big collectible, like people reselling stuff things.
I think so.
Maybe they cracked down on that, because the one thing I didn't see that I think in previous years we had two large, ginormous corner tables of was the Chinese minifigs.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see them this
I didn't
time.
see any.
Yeah. I wonder if they're getting cracked down, or if all the controversy with the bricks and minifigs has demolished their market.
But yeah, I feel like years ago when we would attend this exact show, there'd be so many comic book vendors, because I remember I would search through the boxes for Dazzler comics, Dazzler Second Mention, and I feel like they just like kind of lessened in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So it was cool that they actually were there.
I still think that the first Richmond Comic-Con that we went to was the best setup, and it was very scattered, like unlike any other Comic-Con I've ever been to. But because it was so scattered, it was very organized. And I don't know if you remember, but they had one room that was just all the comic vendors.
Oh.
And then they had one room that was, all the famous people, all the, meet and greets.
Right.
And then one room that was all the other, toys and collectibles and stuff like that. And I thought that was great. But yeah, we had a lot more comics this year. But other than that, what other vendors did you go check out and enjoy?
I like this one booth. She was a few booths down from us, and all of her artwork was based off of her 3 cats.
Yeah.
And so each cat had like their own like character, and then it was like medieval or like dark witchy kind of artwork, and it was really cool.
Well, that's neat.
Yeah.
Custom character prints based off her cats. I really wanted one, but I didn't end up getting one.
I had to buy a couple of her art. She had some like mini prints. And of course when people have like 4 for whatever, and you're like, well, that's a good deal, I gotta get them then. You get sold. And she had some that were like mushrooms as like personified as like girls, and it was kind of cool. So I got those. I was like, okay, I feel like a set of these all next to each other would be kind of cool, because I'm a lot better with prints than I used to be. I've got to think, like, where am I going to put this? And I have to have an idea of where I'm going to put it before I buy it. And all of her art was so displayable, I think. And that's something that I started considering in recent years of like, yes, this person may have really, really cool fan art of some characters that I really, really like, but am I really going to hang that somewhere? I don't know. Like, it'd be cool. It's cool to look at, and it's really well done, but I don't think I'm going to hang it anywhere. But hers actually looked like really displayable. So I had to support that.
Nice. I picked up just a handful of comic books. There was a place that had some dollar boxes, and then a couple of boxes that were highly discounted. So I picked up a couple books there, and then I picked up a Atari 5200 cartridge of Pac-Man. And the guy selling it was assuming that I was just getting it as a display case or a display piece. Because Atari 52 cartridges are a lot wider than Atari 26 cartridges, so they're kind of unique looking. But I said, no, I got a Atari 5200 in a recent bundle of old retro gear that I bought, and I don't know if it works, and I have no games to test it with, so I wanted to get
That's funny.
a cartridge to test it with, and why not grab a Pac-Man?
And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, you've got a display
That's
piece.
right. I can put it with all my
that
other
you just-
Pac-Man stuff.
Can't put it anywhere near Danny's cat.
Cats like to knock things over.
He's perfect.
Cats
No, he's a bad boy.
being cats.
I also this year decided, there's always a lot of really cool dice vendors, like dice sets. And I know when we went to GalaxyCon, there was this really big table. They probably had like five tables, or like, they had a couple sections.
Whole corner.
And yeah, they had the whole corner. And they had a lot of really pretty sets. And I was just like, I want this, but I'm not going to get it. I have no reason to. And this time I was just like, you know what? I'm going to get it. I deserve some nice little rocks. So I got me some nice little rocks.
Was it the place that also had rocks?
No, but I did get Pokemon rocks from one of the rocks guys. Okay. I think it was the vendor. They had dice, and they also had some like bookmarks. Like, I think they were like leather printed or like wood printed bookmarks and like coasters and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, they may have had rocks. I don't know. I was there for the dice.
Nice. All right, so besides the costumes, the vendors, the people that we met.
There's one more vendor we've neglected.
Oh, who's that?
The root beer vendor.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out. We're saving the con, man.
Big hit.
Big hit.
Keeping everyone hydrated.
Yeah, well, I don't know if soda really hydrates you.
Yeah, I think the name of the place was Wild Bill's Soda. And they had a neat display there that looked kind of like the side of a saloon. And, a little window that you can stick your head through and order a drink from it. And they basically sold you a mug, like a stainless steel mug. And then you could refill it as many times as you wanted throughout the day. And they had 4 sodas to choose from. They had root beer, cream soda, orange cream soda, and then a lemonade. And that's the only one I didn't try was the lemonade. But very neat concept, and very many people walking by our booth had one of his mugs in their hands. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing he did pretty good.
Yeah, it was yummy.
So anything else of note from this Comic-Con that you want to talk about?
I call it a success.
Yeah. Successful.
Looking forward to doing it again next year?
Now that I know what 2 days feels like, I think I'm more prepared.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Let us know if you were there. Hit us up on our socials or send us an email, podcast@familygeekery.com. Let us know if you were there. Let us know if you said howdy to us. And let us know what your favorite things were that you saw.
Let us know if you're a new listener.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome if you are.
Yeah.
We should have said that at the beginning.
Welcome to all of our new thousands of visitors that took our business cards and followed up by scanning the QR code and listening to an episode or two.
Thank
'Cause
you.
that's the right thing to do. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. We want to thank you as always for listening. Go check out the YouTube channel, see what's going on there. But until next time, peace out
Peace out.
and
And
geek out.
geek out.
Thank you for listening to the Family Geekery podcast. For more information, visit www.familygeekery.com. Don't forget to subscribe at your favorite podcast provider. And until next time, peace out and geek out.